What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we cover everything you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. In this video, several states are now giving back or considering giving back money back directly to you guys. And I'll show you it directly here on the screen, and we'll go over some of the details. Also, there's a lot going on here right now. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate is going to vote next week on the Women's Health Protection Act to codify a woman's right to seek an abortion into federal law. This comes as the Supreme Court has the leak, and the Supreme Court has confirmed that the leak is actually from the Supreme Court, and they kind of plan to strike down the Roe versus Wade law. So everything is kind of in crazy mode right now. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says, I will file cloture on this vital legislation on Monday, and that will set up a vote on Wednesday. Americans will see where every senator stands. Yeah. And what we will probably see is Democrats voting to vote for women's rights. So Democrats typically vote for giving women the right to choose. Okay, so the way the law is right now to uphold Roe versus Wade, which is how it is now, where the woman has the right to choose. Okay, which makes it legal, okay, to have an abortion. Okay, but basically the woman has the right to choose what she wants to do with her own body. What the Republicans want to do is to overturn this law, and what they want to do is they want to have the government step in and make this illegal to do, or illegal to do in some or a lot of states, depending on exactly how this falls down, and potentially in the future make this illegal in all states if they could do it. And then this is probably how Republicans would vote. We'll have to see how the vote goes down. But that's, again, this is how Republicans think and how Democrats think, just kind of in a general basis. We'll see how the vote goes down. But I'm kind of giving you the rundown on how, in general, each side thinks. When the Senate goes to vote, if they all vote that way, I wouldn't be surprised if all Republicans vote that way and all Democrats vote that way. We'll see. I'll give you the results when it happens. But if they all vote that way, each side versus side, don't be surprised. So I'll let you know here when the actual vote comes down. So, but yeah, the Republicans are more for no, they want the government to make it illegal to actually be able to have the procedure. So you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. And obviously, this is a very, very controversial issue. And really, you got to kind of think of it as a broad level here. Should the government have the right to tell a woman what she can and cannot do? That is at the high level, and really when we go back to the vaccines, same type of thing. Should the government have the right to tell you what to do, to force you what to do? And when we look at China and Russia, it's that's literally what they do over there. You can't speak out against your government over there you protest the war in Russia, you get thrown into prison for years. Yeah. So this is why it's a very big issue, very big issue. People are already protesting across the country. Um, should the government be able to tell you what you can and can't do, be able to force you to have a baby if you get pregnant? It's yeah, it's a very big issue, very big issue, and you got to remember that. You can't paint everybody with a broad picture, a broad brush. Okay, you got to remember there's women that get pregnant at 14. There's women that have complications that die at birth. There's women that have there's women that get raped. There's all sorts of complications times millions of women that there's women that have my wife almost died at birth. She had preeclampsia, and everything worked out okay. But you got to remember that you can't paint everybody with a broad brush, and this is why I guess the current law is that the woman has the right to make a decision about her body. So, but then on the other hand, and this is why you could put me on a debate team, and I could argue either side. On the other side of the coin is that all lives are precious. What about the baby's life? You have a human being there. You have a baby, and you have that whole debate. So yeah, I'm a Christian, so I totally get that point of view. But like I said, there's very complicated. That's probably the hardest decision for any woman ever. And I wouldn't think that very many people don't take that decision lightly. So it's a very complicated decision, and the majority of the Supreme Court is men. So and Republican men. So, not to really pick sides here, but the question is do we want 9 people from the Supreme Court to decide the majority of men what millions of women can and cannot do with their body? I wouldn't want to decide what millions of women can and cannot do with their body. Um, it's just, I think my wife's not here. We're at least visible at the moment. I think she's upstairs with Julian. I think there's a quote from Rachel from Friends that says, "If you don't have a uterus, you don't have an opinion." I couldn't tell a woman what to do. It's not my choice. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. But this is going to be a major life-changing event for hundreds of millions of people. Next up, I wanted to show you this here from Congressman John Larson, one of my favorite congressmen, and solely for the fact that he is for raising Social Security benefits for seniors. For seniors, you can see here, right here on Twitter. I've zoomed it in here a little bit. You can see here, he says, it is time for Congress to improve and protect Social Security. I am fighting for Social Security 2100 Act, a sacred trust, because we must ensure beneficiaries get the fair benefits they earn. And he is the leading sponsor on the Social Security 2100 Act to increase Social Security benefits to 125% of the federal poverty level, which has increased now for 2022 and now comes out to, I'll show it to you here on the screen. Okay, so for individuals for 2022 has increased from the federal poverty level from 12,880 to 13,590. Now, this is important because they want to increase Social Security benefits to 125% of this. Okay, so I'll bring up my handy dandy calculator here, and you can see here 13,590. I need a zero here, and you divide that by 12. That comes out to 1132 times 1.25 because they want to make it 125% of that. They want to increase Social Security benefits to $1,415 per month for everybody that qualifies for Social Security benefits and would qualify for this bill when passed. Um, I have more details of this. I have a whole video where I go over the details of this and how they propose this package and everything. I'll link you to here at the end of this video, called the Social Security 2100 um, Act. You can see here. Here's a article that he linked to um, just here on May 5th. It says, column, it's time for the U.S. Congress to debate Social Security reform in the light of day by Reuters. So John Larson wants to pass this here as soon as possible, and is sending out the message. I believe he has around 200 co-sponsors or people that would vote for it basically right now between the House and the Senate. So they do not need that many more people to pass this. So this is something that they are getting support on right now to, try to get this passed. So I'll link you to that other video here. You can get more details on at the end of this video. Next up, some states that want to put money back in their residents' pockets. I'm trying to cover as many states as I can that want to pass stimulus checks, tax relief, give money back to their residents, as all these states are flush with cash with billions and billions of dollars from the last stimulus package, and just because they're doing well with kind of people going back to work and money in their coffers. We'll start here with the state of Massachusetts. You can see here, published May 5th, Governor Charlie Baker from Massachusetts sees really good sign for tax relief and other things here in the state of Massachusetts. Here's what he says. The governor again pushed for $700 million tax relief package on Thursday, galvanized by new support from Senate President Karen Spilka and a huge April haul in the state tax revenues. See, a lot of these states are starting to take in a lot more money than previously thought. Just like I mentioned in a previous video, the federal government's doing here as well, and they're expected to have a $1.5 trillion deficit reduction on the federal level for like the first time in ever. Yeah, they're actually expect the federal government, the President Biden said they're actually expected to reduce the federal deficit by $1.5 trillion here in 2022. I was blown away when I seen it. Um, yeah. Uh, so we'll see if it happens. I'm still actually a little bit blindsided by it. But if it happens, I'll be blown away. But again, cautiously optimistic. But if they can start reducing the deficit like on an ongoing basis, that would be really great news for our country and people in need, because then they have a lot of money to give, right? As opposed to we're losing money every hour of every day, then you don't have as much money to work with, right? To give to people in need for social programs and stimulus type programs, SNAP benefits, Social Security benefits, child tax credits, people in need, right? Because when think about it as a business, when you're losing money every month, as opposed to you're making money every month. I mean, you guys can figure it out, right? Yeah, so Massachusetts says after the April tax revenues massively exceeded expectations, the governor said that there is a really good sign that Beacon Hill is taking the opportunity seriously to deliver financial assistance to struggling Bay Staters. The Department of Revenue on Wednesday reported Massachusetts raked in more than $2 billion in excess tax revenues than were projected in April alone. That's a lot of money just for 1 month. The Commonwealth has also eclipsed its year to date benchmark by $3.5 billion. They said that they're directed Senate leaders to now work with their partners in government to pursue a tax relief package to residents before the end of the session in July. They had celebrated last month's haul to support tax breaks later in the day and reiterated reporters that they could support their $700 million tax relief package with just the surplus in the month of April alone. And this is the kind of thing when you see this that you could expect more coming in the future. And that's where I think a lot of other states that we might see more coming in the future, even after a lot of states have announced stimulus checks or tax rebate checks, whatever you want to call these checks. They all have different names. Whatever you want to call them, a check is a check, right? You get a check, it's a check. Who cares what you call it? But I think we could see a lot more coming in the future. The governor also unveiled earlier this year his plan to help low income residents, seniors, and families, among other vulnerable Bay Staters struggling financially amid the ongoing pandemic, escalating inflation on food, gas, rent, and housing poses a big problem for people, including those living on fixed income. Quote, you add up the number of people that our proposals were focused on, and it's millions of people here in the Commonwealth. They did not provide a concrete information on what the tax relief package may entail yet, but they did approve almost $50 billion budget last week without tax relief measures yet. The details remain to be worked out and could have a lot of targeted investments such as housing, childcare, higher education, with tax relief for individuals and families. So there's a lot that can or will be coming. Also, the state of Kansas, Governor Kelly signs a tax exemption and reduction bill saying, quote, we're cutting more than $1 billion again. $1 billion in cuts. You can see here tax cuts for Kansas families. Check this out.
Republicans and Democrats were standing together this Wednesday as Governor Laura Kelly signed the bill that cuts your property taxes in Kansas. Joe Hennessy is here telling us how this would impact your wallet.
Ralph, the bill cuts property taxes while providing additional tax relief for Kansas veterans and the elderly through property tax refunds. It also gives tax credits to teachers who purchase school supplies out of their own pockets.
In the next 3 years, we're cutting more than $1 billion. Again, $1 billion in taxes for Kansans. These are common sense tax cuts that will put money back in people's pockets.
Governor Laura Kelly signed a property tax bill that gained votes from more than 100 House members and unanimously passed the Senate.
We talked tax policy all session long, and so it was good to see they were able to put something together that benefits nearly everybody in the state.
Among several tax-related provisions in the legislation, it'll increase the residential property tax exemption and provide additional tax exemptions for disabled veterans. It also gives tax credits to teachers and aviation graduates.
Provisions will go into effect nearly immediately, or when they're published in the register, so quickly. I think some of these provisions probably won't kick in until next tax year, but people will start seeing the benefit of them fairly soon.
Kelly also said she'll sign a separate bill which gradually axes the state sales tax on groceries, with a first reduction in January, moving to zero in 2025. She says she'd like an immediate elimination, but this was a good first step.
Legislation is all about collaboration, consensus building, and compromise. So yes, of course, I wanted total elimination right away of the food sales tax. But the legislative process requires that both sides come to the table.
The bill signed today also eliminates the sales tax on supplies needed to repair farm fencing destroyed by storms and other disasters.
Yeah, so as you heard there, over $1 billion for millions of people between these two states here. I will keep up to date here with everything. We also got a lot of information coming out here on the government and pretty much everything here. I also did a absolutely crazy video on a scandal with Senator Joe Manchin. I got a lot of feedback on that. You definitely need to watch that here as well if you haven't yet. So make sure to click the subscribe button down below to join our YouTube family. It's completely free to subscribe. Just click the subscribe button and then click the bell icon next to the subscribe button after you subscribe. Like I said, it's completely free. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next, or click here to see my video on the scandal Senator Joe Manchin was just caught in. If you haven't seen that, watch that next now and share that video as well so more people know about what is going on here in Congress. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.